There is no best thing to do in life. Anything that you take up and if you put your heart and soul into it, it becomes a great thing. If you want to be in a competitive situation, the thing is you have to work on your competence. What worked for one person, we try to make it work for another person and destroy that person completely. Unfortunately, this is labeled as education.
Need motivation? Watch your top 10 of Believe Nation. What's up, it's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have an amazing gift inside you that I want to see explode out onto the world. So let's get your motivation to a 10 and get you believing in you. Grab a snack and chew in today's lessons from a man who went from moving around a lot as a kid and having a passion for motorcycles and travel to then having a spiritual experience. Then he decided to dedicate his life to spirituality and starting the Isha Foundation. He's Sadhguru, and here's my take on his top 10 rules of success, volume 3. Enjoy. All right, let's kick things off with rule number 1, be passionate about everything.
There are no right things to do in life. If you choose something and put everything that you have into it, it'll become a great thing. Is it the right thing? Is it the best thing? When you say, is it the right thing, what you're asking is it the best thing to do in life? There is no best thing to do in life. Anything that you take up and if you put your heart and soul into it, it becomes a great thing. Is it the best thing? No. Then what is the best thing? There is no such thing. Don't look at yourself as a Delhiite or an idiot, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're just a piece of life, Hello? Yes. And today you're here, one day you'll be poop, gone. You're a brief life. I want you to just imagine, you've seen those insects which come when it rains, ants which fly. Suppose you were that. You just came alive, poop, 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 and gone. That's what you are. Just compared to the span of your life, the insect's life is looking so meaningless and poop, poop, poop and gone. That's what the rivers are thinking about you. Poop, poop, poop and gone. Yes or no? Compared to their lifespan, you are just like that insect or less than that insect, isn't it so? I am not somebody who ever debated, is this the right thing to do in my life? What was needed, I jumped into it. Because if you're a constipated life, you will always be thinking about what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do, what is my passion, what is not my passion. Why the hell are you not passionate about everything? Hello?
Yes.
Why are you not passionate about everything in the existence? You're only passionate about one thing means what? You're constipated, that's what it means. Idiots do things that they don't like to do, suffer for their whole life because they think it's needed or they think it's their duty. Intelligent people do what they love to do. They enjoy their life to some extent. But a genius learns to do what is needed joyfully. That's when your genius flowers. Because it's no more about you. Now there's a limitless way of looking at life.
Rule number 2, be well managed.
If you try to control the variety of situations that may pop up in your face tomorrow morning, all that'll happen is you will become a very limited life. You would step out into the world and do whatever that needs to be done only if you have an assurance, no matter what you walk into, you will not lose yourself. You will walk full stride, otherwise you'll only be a half a step. Most human beings are half steps because the fear of suffering. If this happens, what'll happen to me? If that happens, what'll happen to me? If you're well managed within yourself, you know how to manage your thought, You know how to manage your emotion, you know how to manage your body, your chemistry, your energy. If you know how to manage all this, what does it matter if you walk into hell, I'm asking? If you are well managed, if you are a heaven within you, what does it matter where you go? Hell also will be an interesting place to go. But if you are ill-managed, then you want to be in a nice place all the time. You will not step out into anything. I'm not saying this is wrong, this is against nature, because in nature, every life is aspiring to be as much as it can be, isn't it? Every life is naturally aspiring. This is not a philosophy, this is not an ideology that you must do this or that. It is natural and intrinsic for every life that it will do as much as it can. From an earthworm, from a worm to an insect to a bird, to an animal to a tree, every one of them are trying to be full-fledged life. If you go against this simply because of the fear of suffering, then all possibilities of exploring the nature of being human, the tremendous immensity of being human is just lost upon humanity. Today, you will see this everywhere. When people say, I am only human, they are talking about the limitations of being human. They are not talking about the possibilities of being human, isn't it? If we are the most intelligent species on the planet, if we are the most capable species on the planet, should we be talking about our possibilities or should we be talking about our limitations? Whenever anybody writes or says, oh, we are human, they're always referring to their limitations, never to the possibilities of being human. This is because the most fundamental things have not been taught in our education systems, how to handle your thought and your emotion. Your psychological drama has gone out of control. It's a badly directed drama, believe me. If it was a well-directed drama, you would take it to the conclusion that you want, isn't it? Because it's a badly directed drama, just about anybody can take charge of it. Who is the director of your psychological drama? Just about anybody, isn't it? Anybody can make it into a tragedy.
Rule number 3, build your competence.
Competition is a good thing. If you're incompetent and you're in competition, you will feel stressed. So, if you want to be in a competitive situation, the thing is you have to work on your competence. Right now the problem is, you're tweaking your desire, you're not tweaking your competence. This is what has to happen, that we must teach children to tweak their competence, not their desire. We are calling this ambition, we are calling this goal-orientedness. Ambition means what? You tweaked up your desire, you'll suffer invariably. If you tweak up your competence, you will see wherever you go, you're doing better than what people expect you to, so naturally things will go well for you. Competition is not the bad thing, lack of competence is the bad thing. So instead of competence, we have big desires. If you focus enough on enhancing your competence, you will see there is such joy in breaking limitations every day and becoming something better, you don't care a damn how somebody else is doing.
Rule number 4, prioritize.
Suppose, let's say you have to cook something, let's say you have to bake a cake or you want to cook some rice. You turn on the stove, turn off the stove, turn on the stove, turn off the stove. It's a long process. And of course, dinner won't happen. So this is the story of majority of the spiritual seekers. They're off and on and off and on and off and on. Oh, does it mean to say I must be only here, there? That's not it. The priority should not shift. The priority is set, slowly everything within you will slowly organize itself in that direction. Because the priority is shifting, this life does not know which way to go, it's just confused. Every 2 minutes if you change the destination on the GPS, for sure it does not know where to go, isn't it? So this is what is happening in most people. This is why spiritual path seems to be arduous, long, impossible, unattainable, all these things, simply because people are shifting priorities all the time.
Rule number 5, my personal favorite, ride the wave of life.
Is it true that every other creature on this planet, a worm, an insect, a bird, an animal, with a millionth of our brain, they're conducting their life process quite well? Hello?
Yes.
Are they? When I say life process, we are born, they are born, just like that. We grow up, they grow up. We make a living, they make a living. We may reproduce, they reproduce. We do all this with enormous fuss. They simply do it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Every simple thing, we're doing it with enormous fuss. They are simply doing it. Different various processes of life and death, they're doing it without fuss. We are doing everything with great fuss. Is this a sign of highest level of intelligence, I'm asking? We are supposed to be the most intelligent, and there is no question that we have the most evolved neurological process on the planet, yes? We have the most evolved neurological system that we must be able to sense and feel and experience and perceive, understand and express things in the highest possible way. But no other creature on the planet is struggling like the human creature right now. This is simply because you have been given a super computer. Do you agree with me that this is the most sophisticated gadget on the planet? Not the iPhone, the I. But now the question is, have you read the user's manual? That's all. People have not read the user's manual for the most complex machine on the planet and somehow blundering through, somehow trying to use it. Everything is a problem. Tell me one thing that human beings are not suffering. If they're poor, they suffer their poverty. You make them rich, they suffer the taxes. If they're not educated, they suffer that. Put them to school, lot of suffering. Not married, they suffer that. Get them married. I didn't say anything. I didn't say a thing, okay? No children, some people suffer that. Children, daily suffering. So you seem to be suffering every aspect of life. So if you offer death, will you go joyfully? No, you will suffer that. So tell me one thing that we are not suffering. Now people weave philosophies, life is suffering. No, life is not suffering, nor is it a joy. It's simply there, it's a phenomena. If you ride it, it feels fantastic. If you're crushed by it, it feels terrible. So are you riding the wave of life or are you being crushed by it? That's all the question is.
Rule number 6, be interested in people.
I must say this, just a couple of weeks ago, I was in conversation with someone who is considered some kind of an expert on internet affairs and social media and all this. So, he's been looking at our material in the YouTube and various other platforms, and I said, easily I can give you 50 times more than what is there. You know, just people work on all the thousands of hours of audio and video that's there in the archive, 50 times more in a year's time we can multiply it by 50, that much material is there. He said, Sadhguru, already what is there here, you're throwing it all over the place, it's worth $1 billion. I said, see, what will I do with $1 billion? My interest is 7 billion people. I have no interest in $1 billion. What do I do with it? My interest is people.
Rule number 7, strive for a better life.
As a generation, if you create a huge amount of positives, negative will become small. If you create huge amount of negatives, they will become big and positive will become small. This is all life is. There has never been a point, any time, and there never will be, where everything is perfect. okay? There's no such thing. Because life is a possibility. Because it's a possibility, it cannot be perfect. Doesn't matter what we do, there's still something more to do, always. That is why it's an endless possibility. Striving does not mean I want to be a good man, I want to be a good man. See, being morally good is only good for the society, not good for the human being. Yes? If you're morally correct, it's good for people around you because you're contained, but it's not good for this life. So this life needs a little different kind of nurture. In that context, how many people in this world are going to strive? Before you and me fall dead, how many people will be set this seed that they will be striving to be a better life than the way they are right now? A little higher expression of life. This is all your focus should be.
Rule number 8, don't pass on bad things.
The Japanese people eat much less fat than the Americans and the British. Because of this, people believe they have much less incidence of cardiac arrest. Less people in Japan die of heart failures and heart attacks than they do in UK and in United States. But the French eat a lot more fat, but still they have much less incidence of cardiac problems compared to the British and the Americans. The Japanese people don't drink much wine, so they have much less cardiac problems. But the Italians drink only wine, and they also have much less cardiac problems than the English and the Americans. So the deduction is, it is the English language which is the problem. The English speaking, which is the problem. So this has been a problem everywhere, that we try to transplant what is happening in one place simply as it is in another place. Not just geographically and culturally, even from individual to individual. That what worked for one person, we try to make it work for another person and destroy that person completely. Unfortunately, this is labeled as education, mass-producing people. Though we are a mass of people on this planet, a huge number, over 7 billion people, still you were produced individually, not mass-produced, are you? Right from my childhood, I've been noticing this, that most adults want to teach something when they see children. All those damn things which have not worked in their life. This is one vow you have to take with me, that is, from this moment onwards in your life, you will not pass on anything that has not worked for you to anybody else. Hello? Even if you cannot pass on the best things to other people, at least what has not worked for you, you don't give it to anybody. Will you do this? Yes. Does anger work for you? So don't give it to anybody. Does misery work for you? Does depression work for you? So if you are angry, if you're depressed, you're miserable, just shut up, okay? And sit in one place and handle it.
Rule number 9, don't try to be intuitive.
People start developing these things for everything. When their logic fails, they will think that, you want to do something, you don't know how to do it. You're not sure whether to do it or not do it. Then the simple solution they're taking is, okay, this finger is this finger is this, yes, no. Give it to the child, if he holds this, yes, if he holds this, no. This is not intuition. No, I will come to you, I'm going more basic. The answer is not just about you, I'm just using it. Now, this is just that your logic has become, incapable, it's collapsed, unable to come to your logical decision. So, you are succumbing to this simple way. If some child holds your hand like this or like this, yes or no. Anyway, when there are two options, 50% of the time you could be right. Yes? Being 50% of the time right is not good enough, isn't it? Yes? Isn't it so? I was, some time ago I was visiting a homeopathic doctor. There in his clinic they had put up an ad. Some homeopathic medicine which will work for all kinds of snake bites. You're living in Bombay, probably it's not an issue for you. Where I come from, snakes are everywhere on a daily basis. So I looked at this and then I asked him, how come this medicine you're advertising that it works for all kinds of snake bites? Because if you are not already aware of this, snake bites are fundamentally of two kinds. One type of venom attacks your cardiovascular system, another kind of venom attacks your nervous system. They're two completely different kind of chemicals and it works upon your system in a different way. Generally for both you have different types of antidotes, but for everything this particular medicine is supposed to work, how is that possible? So the doctor said, see in India, 90% of the Indian snakes are non-poisonous. So 90% of the time it works. So, that's not good enough, isn't it? It's the remaining 10% which is crucial, isn't it so? So, intuition, don't get into this thing about you trying to be intuitive. Never try to be intuitive. Logic is dependable, isn't it? There are moments when there is certain clarity which has no logical explanation. At that time, it's okay, but you never try to be intuitive. If you try to be intuitive, your logical mind will become deceptive and come to all kinds of stupid decisions. You will get suddenly guidance, voices from the heaven, all kinds of voices people are hearing. Logic is dependable, go by it, at least you won't make a fool of yourself.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is get into nature.
If you can find a place where there are no sounds of machines and your cell phone will not tink-tink, quietly if you can listen to the sound of the trees, the breeze, the water, just the natural sounds, if you pay enough attention, tremendous things will happen to you. Many times I've been in the South Indian, they're kind of tropical rainforests. The longest I've been there through the jungle for about 23 days alone. No any kind of support, no cell phone for sure those days and not even a torchlight. And fourth day I ran out of the food that I was carrying, so I lived off the forest. By about eighth day, I lost my jacket and one half of my shirt because I was chased by some animals and by that whole thing. I had half a shirt and pants and I walked through. This is elephant country, tiger country. I saw tigers, panthers, elephants, all kinds of… the wild buffalo, various kinds of animals, very close quarters. But at the end of it, when you look back, what is the biggest impact on you? It's the insects. It's in the nights, the orchestra that goes on in the rainforest. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And the timing, every day, night 2:15 means one group will stop and the other group will start. Really, their sense of time
every day, exactly, by the second, one group will start, another group will start. And you don't know what they're talking about. They're definitely talking something that you don't know, for sure. They're not just making dumb noises. So if you just sit there and listen and listen and listen and listen, slowly you start noticing there is a pattern and an organization to this which is far bigger than any human symphonies that you can achieve. Far more complex and far more intense. I think it's very important for every human being, particularly if you have children. Vacation need not be Disneyland. I'm not against it, but one trip is enough, all silly stuff which excites you. Vacation should be into nature. If you can take your children, walk in a jungle, not in a resort, just live on a mountain, expose them to nature, I will tell you, you will bring up your children not only physically healthy, mentally healthy, far more sensible and accepting and wonderful kind of human beings if they know how to… Because once you go into nature, whose son you are, whose daughter you are, what are you in the city doesn't matter, okay? It's very important that everybody experiences that, otherwise you start creating your own illusions as to who you are and you start believing it for sure.
Now I've got a very special Sadhguru bonus clip on how to stop raising the bar of survival, but before that, I want to know, what did you learn from this clip? What did you learn from these videos? What did you learn from Sadhguru today that you're going to somehow apply to your life or to your business? Please leave it down in the comments below. I'm really curious to find out. Thank you so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon and enjoy the bonus clip.
Let's say taking United States as an example, this is not going to be the problem of only United States. United States has come first in the race, okay? Others will get it because they're all going the same way. Right now, US is a stark example. One thing is, we go on raising the bar for survival. We must define, this is survival. This means you're good enough. After this, it must be exploration of what you really wish to do. But we keep on raising the bar of survival in such a way, now even after becoming the most affluent nation, a whole lot of people are just struggling for survival. This is senseless. And affluence means your survival is done thing, isn't it? But like you just mentioned, they're working 3 jobs to survive. This is not affluence, this is horrible poverty. At least in India we can sit back and enjoy. See, the way we have structured the society right now is, people have a 35-year house mortgage. I mean, if you have a 35-year economic commitment to something, tomorrow even if God popped up here, you can't change the direction of your life because the bank is here. What will you do? Because largely you're all from Christian community, so I'm saying, if Jesus popped up tomorrow and he says, "Come follow me," you're not going because… no, not busy, you got monthly payment. You got bills to pay, insurance to pay. You can't change. This is a silly way of organizing our lives. The very reason why we want to become affluent is so that depending upon what life offers us, we can change the direction of our life whenever we want, isn't it? Isn't it very important? This is one thing that has to sink into the American people. Being the most affluent nation means you are not battling for survival. This is happening because you're raising the bar of survival endlessly. No matter what you do, you're still only fighting for survival. If this one thing we change, then we can do lot of things about health and well-being and beyond that.
Raise your standard.
Apple at the core
its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better.
Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me.
I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
Hey Believe Nation, if you want to see my all-time favorite top 10 rules of success, I have a very special secret video for you. These are the individual clips that I have personally learned the most from and applied to my life and my business. Check the link in the description for details.